Hi guys, how are you this morning? This afternoon for some of us.
Hello.
Good.
Good. Paul, is it okay if we're gonna do the payroll today of how to enter in the system. Is it okay that I use your payroll?
Good. Fine.
Okay, perfect. And then Fred should be here any minute.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference between leases and loans for automobiles. So on my RSP, it says automobile lease, and it hits the P&L, but it should be an automobile loan that only hits the balance sheet.
Perfect. Do you have the amortization table for that you can send over to me?
I do not. I just got them from the these were something that's been in there for like 3 years.
Okay, do you still have the automobile loan?
Yes,
Okay.
I have them. If you go into mine,
Mm-hmm.
into my prop P&L.
Mm-hmm. Do you know how much is your do you know how much of your payment is the principal and how much is the interest?
I don't right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna send you and I an email so that we both remember to ask so that you can look into it because the interest goes on your
Well, for P&L.
yeah, and the principal doesn't. So I'm gonna send us an email right now so we remember, we can look that up and I can fix it in the system.
Probably grab 2 of those sheets right now.
Okay. All right. Rachel is going to be showing us payroll today. I think she's going to be using Paul as an example and getting payroll into the system. I think, is it Toast Payroll for Paul, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Toast Payroll, she's going to show how that gets entered in. It's really important in our system too, because we're able, and this is where no other accounting system can do this, because we're connected to your POS system and connected to the punch times, not just connected to, getting the sales out, because, there's lots of other integrations where you can pull stuff out and go into QuickBooks. But this is where your punch times are being pulled, and we can run a preliminary P&L on your books right away. And it has to do with getting that monthly prime cost report. It also feeds into that, so you can get a little mini P&L weekly, and then be able to get those books out right at the end of the month, and all the accruals that happen. So we're getting weekly P&Ls. But like Paulie he's semi-monthly, which is great. It makes the accruals easier, but we want to be able to get those books out immediately. And so Rachel's going to show the process of how your payroll will be entered in here. I'm looking around. So Paul, like this is something you won't have to do. It's done for you because you're in full accounting. Renee, where you guys are at, you'd be using the software, so you have to be doing this. Christine, I think you're still deciding where you want to be with all this. Sean, where you're at, you'd have to be entering this in. And Cecilia, you're full accounting, so you wouldn't have to do this. We're just showing you the process and what this looks like. Okay.
And then when do those get entered? Like, do we send you it when we process our accounting?
No, so if we have your Toast login, then we'll be able to do it. So our plan is that you get your preliminary P&L immediately, and then we're doing the reconciliations the month after. And so we're looking at your bank accounts and getting those entered in there. we can communicate what that looks like, but we want you to get, like, for February, we want you getting your preliminary P&L like right away within the 1st or 2nd of March. Okay. And we're able to do that without payroll having to be finished being processed.
Okay, you know that I'm not the most patient guy in the entire world, so that's what I was wondering.
So within 1 day or 2 days is, I think, a reasonable time to get your P&L to you. Yeah.
Hi, Rufus.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is the whole design. Paul, you're not different than all restaurateurs. And so you want your P&L numbers right away. Actually, I take that back. There's so many restaurateurs out there. I should say you're not that much different from a restaurateur that's our client. You want your numbers, you want them right away. We talk to restaurateurs every day. They're like, oh, I don't believe that, knowing your numbers makes a difference. I've been, there's all kinds of, like, so I shouldn't say you're like people that understand that they need their numbers and they need them right away to drive profits and all of that too. So um, I didn't mean to generalize you with all restaurateurs, because as I talk to them, man, it's nuts how many people run their business with no vision or anything going on, and they wonder why they're not making money. So all right. So you're a special group. I'm going to turn it over to Rachel, and she's going to show the process of getting this entered in and what that can look like, and how we're going to do that. Which one are you entering, Rachel?
I'm gonna enter their payroll that was it was released, they paid on the 23rd, and it's
Yep.
from the 1st
So
through
the
the 5th.
first one of the year. Yep. Great. And so then the whole year will be caught up on these as these get entered in, Paul.
Yeah.
So what do you do with the one that's on the 9th for the previous year? Back
So
that
there's
in?
accruals here. So the one on the 9th, when's that? So this is where accruals happen, right? So when you look at your P&L, you should be getting a report card for your business. So the one in December, that's your December payroll. And so even though the check date is the 9th, we got to make sure that that's showing in your December books.
Yeah.
Even though it's paid in January. And that's what the accruals are for. And it shows us, like, exactly what the hours that people worked and all that, and getting that correct.
Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is how to set up your payroll so that it has a calendar that only has dates that you can choose from that are applicable to your restaurant. So the first thing that you're going to go do is you're going to go into restaurant setup, and then you're going to open up preferences. When you open up preferences, you can choose what kind of payroll you have. So if you have weekly, you choose the first payroll date. So whatever date that your payroll comes out of. But for Paul's case, he has semi-monthly, and it doesn't make me choose a date. It already knows what semi-monthly means. So I'm just going to hit save on that, and that's all set up. That is because when you go into accounting, and then you go into payroll, which is right here, when I click add new, I'm going to put this as his payroll of January 1st through January 15th. And then I'm going to choose my period start date was January 1st. And then you choose your pay date, which tells me right here in Toast that this was paid on January 23rd. And I'm going to save that.
Most of you are going to be weekly or bi-weekly. Anybody else semi-monthly here? I think everybody else is probably weekly or bi-weekly.
Okay.
So I was told to do it that way because it's 12 hours.
Yeah. So what we've designed is see, you're the only one that listened to us years ago, to be honest, to make the accruals easier, because then the whole payroll can fit. But everybody, it's more convenient, better for cash flow and all that, to do it weekly or bi-weekly. And it's just easier for their employees to understand and doing it that way. And so we've set up the accruals to still fit either way, no matter which way people choose. So that was like a before technology requirement, Paul. I mean, we taught you that in 2005, I think. That many years ago.
Okay. So in Toast, if you have Toast payroll, to find exactly what we need, you're going to go over to this payroll button. I'm logged into Paul's right now. And then if you click past payrolls, they'll all be here. So the first one that we're going to do is this one. I'm going to click view. And then I am going to scroll down and I'm going to do the one that says labor distribution by job, because everything is in here by whatever job your employees are working. So the first one is bar back, and it tells me we worked regular 22.56 hours. So I'm just going to find bar back on here and I'm going to put in their hours. For deductions, you're going to put deductions under, we're going to add the employee deductions with the employee taxes. So we're going to add those two things together.
There is an improvement in the software to be able to separate that out. So like by deductions, meaning like if there's like child support, things that are being held out of their check to be paid, things like that.
Yeah. So we're going to do deductions, and we're going to put them all together with the employee taxes, which is 58.73. And then for earnings, it is right here, the 315.84. This barback didn't make any tips. We will go over someone that does make tips. And then it asked me for the ER taxes, which is employer taxes. So I'm going to put that right here. And then my total deposit was this. So I'm going to put that into my net pay. And I'm going to save this after every single one. The reason I save it after every single one is because I want to make sure that they're balancing out here at the bottom. If I go enter all of them at once and then they're not balancing, you have to go through every single one. So I found it's easier to save one at a time, so I know I only have to fix that one if it's not.
Your general ledger entry needs the balance, and it's creating it for you.
Yes. Okay, so there's the first one for barback. I'm gonna go do, this one is for bartender. So they do have tips. So for bartender, I'm gonna put their hours in. And then for their earnings, I'm just gonna do their regular earnings. This is what was their hourly earnings. And then for tips owed and tips paid, I'm going to add those two things together. So I have 68 plus. So I have my employee taxes. Again, I have meals as their deduction, so I am going to add that together with the employee taxes. I have, and then I have employer taxes, which is 524. And then my total is this. So I'm going to save that. And this is an example. I did some math wrong somewhere because these two aren't balanced. So I'm going to figure out what I did wrong. So
While she's looking at those and figuring out which entry, understand if you look at the tips payable account there, it says 3431.70. That tips payable account is a liability account, and every day in your end of day report, it should that liability count is increasing with the general ledger entry automatically from your end of day report in the system. So as you look at that liability, what you owe increases every single day as you collect those credit card tips to be paid out on the payroll. And then when you actually pay them out on the payroll, it will reduce that liability account on your balance sheet in there. So there, let's see, I'm trying to take a look here. Maybe zoom in a little bit, Rachel, on my eyes are.
Is that better?
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you off the $68 because it says tips paid, and that could have been that was already paid out?
Yeah, it was already paid out. So those are cash tips that they already.
Yeah, so they're getting taxed on those, but they've already collected them, so it's going to be minus so just the 3363.70. On that, it's a.
Yeah, they claim them, but they already got them.
And we are off $2. Oh, we're off $2. Is there anything under the check line? There's no checks?
No, just zero.
All right, that's covered. So, and then you added the 129.70 to the
Yep.
post deduction 690.
Yeah, 819.89, 524.86.
$1,486 and taxes. Oh, you put hours in. Oh no, those are the right hours. Hold on, sorry. And then you have 1543.49.
70.
Yeah. Sometimes Toast will, when we found in this, that sometimes they would add sum them up off, and then the totals would be right at the bottom.
Yeah,
So
what happens
what
is,
exactly are you off, Rachel? Okay, I
I,
can't see them at the bottom.
that's okay.
57. Sorry, Paul.
yeah, what happens too is in RSP, it goes 2 decimal places, and in Toast, it goes 2 odds as well. You know what I'm saying? So like 57.73 will be Toast, and 57.72 or 74 will be RSP. So like there was
Yeah,
one
this
that
is
was
being
hours.
direct. This is being entered directly from Toast, so it's
Okay. So it should be right, right?
yeah. Payroll clearing. 408,969, 408,969, 524.86.
So always my pain in the ass one.
This,
If we're off, for now, add the 239 and we'll go look it up and we'll find it once we get to the end. You might be 239 off again. Not that we're just for the sake of moving forward with the call. This is where we'd have to investigate what's going on with Toast in there. We'd pull up their general ledger entry, see what it says, all that. So that's where our team would reach out, go, hey, this general ledger entry is not lining up. We go from there. Other way. It might have to do something with the meals deduction, but that's the bartender.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna go back to that one.
Okay.
Okay, so the next time is for cook. So we're gonna go find cook here. Is cook and kitchen the same? Is it just named differently in Toast, Paul?
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna take the overtime and the regular pay and give us the total number of hours. So 558.26. And then their earnings is total because it's overtime and their regular pay.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't make any tips, but they do have meals. So I'm going to do 174.33 plus 1402.48, which is their employee taxes. And I'm going to do 1576.81. And then I'm going to take the employer taxes. And then their direct deposit is right here. So I'm going to add that under net pay and hit save. And it does balance out. Does anybody have any questions so far about how I'm entering this? Okay, I'm going to just keep going.
Renee, are you guys using Toast Payroll?
We are for 2 of the 3.
2 or 3, okay. So we are working on an import on this as well, where you just download, upload, upload. Toast is not wanting, Toast is trying to create their own accounting system, and so they're not being helpful in having us connect to it.
Okay, so I'm just going to do a couple more. So host, I'm taking their total hours.
They're 2 years behind us though. I have a client that is using it, and they showed it to me and it's not even close.
They have tips of $17. This is and then their direct deposit. And it's still balanced out. Does everyone understand this process, or do you want to watch me do another one?
You're doing pretty good. This is pretty clear. I think you're doing a good job and nobody's raised a question.
Okay.
We'll help you if you have different, please speak up if you have a question. Also help you, like if you're like, you're seeing this in Toast payroll, but if you have other payroll services, you're like, man, I can't see it the way that it was there. We help you with that entry and just send it to us and we'll help you create videos for you and enter and everything.
Paul, is this
Rick-
manager? Sorry, is this manager your hourly manager or your kitchen manager? I just want to make sure I have it right.
You're muted, Paul.
Hourly manager, we don't have a
Okay.
kitchen anymore. You're
Perfect.
looking now.
Great. Wanted to make sure. Okay, here's your hourly manager. And total. Perfect. And then the last one of server.
So if I actually might predict that you are off on this one too, because you may have it to where it's off because do you have people that are clocking as servers and bartenders, Paul?
Yeah, they clock in. I mean,
This
it's
is
two
where,
separate,
yeah,
two
this is
separate
when-
ones, but one of their job titles was server and one bartender.
Yep. Well, this might be where we find them 239.
Yep.
Yeah, so just go change the bartender back to the exact numbers in the system, and it's because it's averaging it out between like a server was getting it's the way to distribute the tips and is where I think it is in the tips is that there's a certain amount given for bartender shifts and a certain amount for server, and it's like the average and the rounding of it all is splitting between the two positions. Yep, and there you go. So you're balanced out now that you got to the end there, right, Rachel?
I'm off by 15 cents. Yeah,
15 cents. Okay,
I got it.
do it in tips because that's where it's going to be off.
I think. Okay.
And then it will not affect their P&L at all or anything that way. Tips don't show up on as an expense anywhere. It's a liability account. Where are we at with salaries here? Is that the last one?
Yep. So that's the last one, and then when you're all done with it, you just hit completed, and you're good.
Okay. So he's good, but now let's go back to the payroll from is this January reconciled yet in here, or is it just
Not yet.
okay? So if we go to and that then what'll happen now is through the bank statement, these checks will clear, right? So this is where, if you look at that general ledger entry, so stay on this page, go down. There's this payroll clearing. And what it's doing is it's starting to separate all of our labor in here to show it the right way in our P&L with the gross pay. Because there's gross pay and there's net pay. And what we want is if somebody's works 8 hours or works $10 and gets $10 an hour, they made $80. Their check is going to be completely different based on tips and how much taxes were taken out. And then there's employer taxes. So we got to make it to where our P&L is showing the correct gross payroll. So now, are any of this Toast payrolls entered in as invoice log, Rachel, that you can show? Let's see.
Those pay, yeah, we can look.
You opened his invoice log. Let's go to January.
We have done nothing.
So you're, you might be a little bit behind, Paul, as we're transitioning you from QuickBooks over to here. So the team is Toast. Okay, there's a Toast, and that could be is that just your POS fees right there? Yeah. That's what you're paying. That's a lot.
There's like 4 things that we're getting rid of. I got the whole suite, so I can.
How about the whole thing and you get served?
I'm not changing anymore. These are all interesting.
What's that?
It's all interesting. I'm not gonna change anymore. And punch myself in the head with every single time I change something. So we're gonna go through this and see how the accounting works, and
Yeah.
we'll go from there.
Okay, so
I didn't have to pay anything for
so
the.
when as the bank statements come in, because the actual payroll hasn't been in here, we'll close it. So there'll be all these checks and withdrawals from here. And what those withdrawals will be is they'll go against your payroll clearing account. So what happened is in the liability account, it is the payroll processing or the payroll clearing is increasing the liability on that. And that allows us to enter in your payroll and have it all be correct, but then clear that account against all these checks that are being cashed and the money that's coming out of your bank account to direct deposited checks. And so that process of using a payroll clearing account to enter the payroll in makes it to where when we run a P&L, go ahead and run a P&L for him in January, and it will show that payroll showing up. So now when you look at this, we can go to and you're doing all your labor allotments, right, Paul, all the time?
Yep.
Okay, so if you go to the payroll profit and loss, and then you run it by month, Rachel, and leave it as labor allotment and do it by month and then do January. Yep. So now when we run this by month here and you look at the payroll, you're going to see all that pay. So go ahead and click on the 33,390, Rachel. There, you're going to see that those accruals are happening there. There's January 1st to the 5th, and then the 27th to the 31st. You've been entering in your labor allotment weekly, but it's showing you the exact payroll that's happened because we're pulling all those punch times in. All right. And so that's how that payroll is being shown. And you got, and that the taxes that you're seeing there are a guess. Now, if you go back to the top and you run it off and switch it from labor allotment to payroll. Now we got to enter in the second payroll, which we can do in a second. But now when you look at that, there's your gross payroll, and you're seeing this whole payroll is being broken down. Scroll down. There. So your whole payroll is being broken down by the departments in there. Okay. And that's showing like there's your employer taxes, there's all of that in there. And then you're going to see how fast it is to get that payroll in the system. Rachel, could you go ahead and do the next one? That way you have a full month of payroll in there.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're working on the import. It's going to be an export import because Toast isn't playing nice on that, but we're getting that, all this in here. So there you go. There's the 116, the 131. So even though it's paid in February, this is going to hit your January books automatically.
buyback.
Rufus, do you have the general ledger for your, you're doing QuickBooks for your payroll? Do you have that report you can send us?
Well, that'd be something Lee would have to do.
Okay,
What is it you want?
it's the general ledger entry on your QuickBooks payroll to make sure that's being
That's
entered in.
buyback.
Basically, your payroll report from QuickBooks.
That's buyback, not bartender.
Oh,
You want the general ledger for the payroll?
Yeah, there's a general ledger entry for your payroll and then the payroll report that shows the breakdown of all your departments. That's assuming she has it in there. I haven't seen your payroll. But
Yeah, let me see. Let me see if she's still here.
Okay. Cecilia, what do you do? What company are you using your payroll? What?
From Clover.
So your POS is Clover. What's your payroll? I'm sorry.
Home base is an app.
Home base. Got it. Okay. And so they partner with Clover on that? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But I actually do my payroll with Paychex.
Paychecks. Okay, great. So that's great. That's a great integration. They have that.
Yeah, so they use
Yeah. So our scheduling system replaces home base as well. And I know you're looking at Serve too, so and we'll be able to beat those credit card processing. I know that they shopped it on that. Is it raining in Southern California there, Cecilia? I heard they might have some rain. Is that?
it is. It is, but not that hard yet. It be hard on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, my best day.
Friday and Saturday. Does that affect business when it rains?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The good way or bad way?
And
Probably
that way, I only have outdoor seating.
Can you add numbers in the box right now, or do you have to add it and then type in the sum?
Yeah, you can't add in the box right now. You have to add it and type in the sum right now. I've
Okay.
been actually asking for that for years from them, and they're working on it, on
Cool.
all from the end of day report and all of it. So I don't know why it's hard for them, but yeah, it is a good feature. Software is a difficult thing to do. Like it's tough making people happy. Like I literally just, and no offense, Renee, on this, but I literally just showed you like it's doing automatic accruals, pulling punch times, uh, doing complicated general ledger entries automatically, and people are still like, "Oh, but where's my plus sign in the thing?" And it's like, I get it, but there's a ton of things that are 100 times better. And that's, it's those convenience things that we're going to be adding as we go down the road there. When I create this stuff, I focus on profits and getting those numbers in the best way too. And then as we add that, those other convenience things will come in too. all those tips. Is Jonathan doing your taxes, Paul?
He is not at this time. I have to
You
get,
can make sure you're getting your tip credit on that. You
Yeah.
know,
I haven't taken it in 20 years. I've got a lot of tip credits.
you haven't taken it?
I haven't taken it.
See, that's so. I don't know if you know Dan Candy from Visconti's. They actually sued their CPA on it, and they got 7 years. You can only go back 3 years, but they got like a $700,000 check because their CPA never filed it.
Hey, Rachel, Lee is sending you something, email. I'm not sure if that's what you want. And she is still here. If that's not it, you can text her and she'll give you what you want.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you. I'll take a look at it today.
Yeah.
And I'll have it ready for our meeting on this week.
Oh, great.
I mean, it's been filed every year. It's just I haven't used it. So
You haven't taken the credits? Well, they go away after 3 years.
I think we've taken them every year that we can. So I got to talk to him and see what it is.
Okay. All right.
He said I'll never have to pay federal taxes. That's what he told me. So.
Well, no, you can only go back 3 years.
Oh,
So, yeah. So that's not true. And it's his mistake. Like I said, like he can be sued over that. Not that you want to sue him, but you know. All right. So yeah, you can see. So see that. You don't have to click on that. Rachel, switch back to labor allotment. And the number's gonna be slightly different. So that's just 33,390. Now go back and click on it and switch back to payroll. Yeah, so it's lining up. So that means you submitted the payroll you upload. There you go. So that's lining up because we're pulling these actual punch times from your POS system, and then you're doing your payroll through that too. So it makes sense that it all lines up, and it does. But now the breakdown, let's go and scroll, Rachel, to show all the payroll. There we go. So you're seeing the whole breakdown by department, and that's where it makes it even greater, where you can push this into Budget Creator now and have it comparing, truly comparing that in there. Let's go down the rest of his P&L. He's got his restaurant supplies. Cake deposits need to be cleaned up on that, Rachel. We got to get it off of there. Keep scrolling. Equipment. There's always utilities, marketing, design, income tax, repair, maintenance, marketing, office.
And real estate taxes are going to the operating entity, right?
I'd have to ask. I'd have to meet with Jonathan on that. That's a Jonathan question. On there. Credit card. Okay, so now in the accrual, so credit card processing is a little bit in there, but what'll happen is in the reconciliation, any of those credit card fees that Toast is taking out are going to come up and show in that credit card processing line too. So not all the expenses aren't in there, but most of your expenses are from everything that you're scanned. Anything else that's missing in here from the bank statement will then be entered in here, which it looks like you have most of your expenses in here. We may not find a lot in the bank statement, but this looks pretty clean. All right, and then we can push it right into Budget Creator. And it's gonna be much faster getting these out. Like you could have run this preliminary already, a week ago or more and seen this. Okay. All right. Okay, good job, Rachel, in showing that. Getting the payroll in is really important, especially if we're going to look at what the reconciled amount is versus what the actual amount is. Like we haven't even had the it's not fully reconciled, but you have a really good P&L that's looking good there. We're getting these books out much faster and cleaner than ever before. Everyone that's here, send us your payroll reports. Send us to everyone for this year, and we'll get you guys all set up for the whole year in here. I see Jesse joined. I don't know how long you've been here, but Sean, send them in. No matter the payroll company, send them in. We'll make sure that we get you all dialed in and do little videos for training you each individual and getting that entered in the system. Okay. Any questions from anybody right now? Rufus?
Yes, sir.
Were you saying something? Sorry.
Lee just came up. She's getting ready to walk out. She wanted to know if that
Okay.
was what Rachel needed. So
Yeah.
I'll get with Rachel, and if she needs the one for Greg's Grill,
Yeah.
whatever she needs, I'll get Lee to send that too.
Okay. Fantastic.
I have, if nobody else has a question,
Yeah.
how do you put in a rent payment? So
Yeah.
let's say on the first of the month, because I have 4 different rent payments that come in, or 3 different rent payments.
Mhm.
I don't know how to do that. And then when I cut a check for that, it should automatically take out that 2,800 or 3,800 that I get in should be off of what I pay for rent to my bank for the account, you know.
Okay. I think this also applied to somebody else. Somebody else asked this question too. So I'm in your restaurant, Paul, and I'm
You're showing your calendar, Rachel.
oh sorry.
It's okay.
Wrong screen, guys. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Paul, I'm in your invoice log, so I'm going to enter the rent payment in the invoice log. So what's the date that?
Does he have the rent category entered in the system just being sure?
Yeah. Yes.
He does. Okay, fantastic.
Okay. So Paul, we can put it whatever date you want. I usually just recommend if you're making multiple payments on it to just put it in the invoice log as the first of the month, and then I can show you how we can add the multiple payments.
Sure, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
And it'd be, I don't know if the vendor's in there. 'Cause we have
What's the vendor?
Citizens Bank.
See. Nope, let's go add that. Citizens Bank. Okay. And then I'm gonna go
Are you
back. I'm
mailing
gonna
this or
add
is it ACH?
ACH.
Citizens Bank, and then how much is the rent, Paul?
5,500 I pay.
5,500?
65.
65. Sorry, I misheard you. Okay, and then I would put it to rent. And 6,500. Okay, so it's in the invoice log. Now, every time you go to pay it and you're paying in different increments, you can just add what account it comes out of. So what account do you pay it from?
Operational.
Perfect. And then how do you
It
remember?
actually goes, this is what has to happen. Yeah, that pays the citizens. And then I have to I have to deposit in the citizens, and then citizens automatically takes it out.
Okay, that's fine. Do you do it all at once? Like you pay the 6,500 once, or do you do multiple payments to it?
Yeah, no, I pay it all at once.
Okay, perfect. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this, and you would put in whatever you
ACH.
said you paid for ACH. So I'm just gonna write ACH so I know, and then you can choose which one you want to reconcile.
Yeah, it's still a check number.
Oh, okay.
The citizens, yeah,
What's the check number in Citizens?
multiple ones. So I just print it out every month.
Okay, so whenever you have it, you just put it in
Okay,
like
so it's not ACH, it's a check.
It's
he
weird.
ACHs from his Chase account into the Citizens account, and then the Citizens account writes the check.
Oh, you print the check numbers, not
Oh,
the check.
the other way around. I print the check, I
Uh-huh.
upload it into Citizens,
Uh-huh.
and then Citizens automatically takes it from my business checking and pays that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to have I'd rather just do an ACH right from Chase operational, but I have to have a
So
Citizen.
you're printing the check from QuickBooks?
Yeah.
Okay, Rachel, uncheck that paid button. Okay, so now go back to the vendor, Rachel.
Go back to the vendor.
But you're not mailing this check, but we're gonna need to put the address in here. So go back to city. And this is where, when we're printing checks and mailing them, we got to get the address in here. So Citizens Bank, and then you're going to add the address. Do you happen to have the address handy?
You check. It's like 10 of them.
The key is when you put the address in, you have to put is key contact for it to print. Because you may have multiple contacts and you only want one address to print. If you want that address to print on the check, you have to check off that it is key contact. In fact, Rachel, just have them put is key contact slash printable address to just so people understand that.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Want the address?
Yes, please.
South 75, West 17358, Janesville Road, Janesville Road.
I think that's the city, Rachel.
That's the road.
That's the road. Okay, never mind.
Yep, and then the city is Muskego. There is a Janesville in Wisconsin though.
Okay.
Muskego, Muskego.
MUSK.
Okay.
MUSKEG. Okay.
Geo. Yep, Wisconsin or US, whatever. US. Wisconsin. 53150. And the phone number 414-422-9200.
Perfect. And then I'm gonna
This is
do
also where, like, if you would want a salesman getting texts for orders or emails with your purchase order, you'd put that in there as well. And then you did check off key is the key contact, Rachel, on that?
yeah, I checked it off.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Good. Okay, so now you're gonna go, now that that's entered, you want to enter that again. That's a one-time thing. Now you go to your accounting beta there, and then go to pay bills on the left-hand, accounting, up, accounting.
Sorry.
Go.
So that one, sorry, the date is the 23rd on that. That always happens.
Okay, go fix that date. Rachel.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I have one on the 3rd and one on the 23rd because I had a remodel that I did too. So
So the 23rd or the 27th.
that one's 23rd on that one. Yeah.
Perfect.
Now, I'm assuming you've already printed this one from QuickBooks.
Yeah.
So we would just record it. We're just going to go through the motions right now. We're not going to, Rachel, make sure you don't hit save. You hit cancel when we leave printing. Okay.
Got it.
Don't try to go fast because you can mess.
Okay. I won't go fast.
There's
I'm
the
not
system.
fast.
Up. Two. There you go. Check it off. Great. Now scroll down. And you're gonna the date of the check would have been the 23rd also, so you're gonna put that there, the 23rd of January to the left.
I have the date
Down.
Okay.
And that's to be printed from the operating account. You could change it to there. So go ahead and pay. Yep, that's good. So you could choose different bank accounts. You could even pay from a credit card right here. Let's say you paid like 10 bills with a credit card. You could check all 10 off and say, hey, they were paid on the Amex, and you could check that off there. Okay. So Rachel, so now just go ahead and hit print checks. And this is where you would feed your checks into the printer. And we will have to set you up, and you would set up, whatever that first check number is. Go ahead and just put like 001. We're not going to hit save on this.
I know the number was, yeah, okay.
Okay, we're not going to hit save because I'm going to show you two things. Because one, what you do after the fact, go ahead and check off that check, right, and then hit print. Just don't hit done. This sort of thing. You got to put the first check number in up there, 001. There we go. Okay, so there it is, and then you print it and see how the address is showing there. You can print the check off and do your normal routine on that. Go ahead and hit X and then hit cancel, Rachel. Cancel. Yep. So if you hit done, it would register as that being paid on there, and then you would print it, and it would show it as paid and what the check number was automatically in that invoice log. Okay. Now, if you have the check number, Paul, since we're going back. Go ahead and go back to the invoice log.
Yep. That one's 24931.
Back to invoice log on what?
and open up that check from on the 23rd from Citizens Bank. Now you're gonna mark this as paid from the operate, and then what was it? Check number
24931.
24931. And you're doing it this way because you've already printed the check. Now you're just recording that check as being paid. Sometimes people handwrite a check, and that's how you record a handwritten check as well. Like I said, it would have automatically recorded all that if you'd have printed the check from there. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so then how do you do a rent deposit?
So that's gonna be any deposit. So you're getting rent from other people.
Yep.
Okay. So that's going to be a manual deposit. It's a little bit more complicated. That's where we would normally handle that from the bank statement in there. So it's not in your end of day, or it's not like revenue coming in there. Do you want that to credit the deposit account on there?
Goes in, they pay to Paulie's Pub and Eatery, and then Paulie's Pub and Eatery writes the check for Budiak Properties.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Got it. Okay. All right. So what you would do, so this is going to take a general ledger entry for that. This is revenue that's not coming in from your end of day. It's kind of like another income thing. Okay. So what you're going to do is go to your manual deposits, Rachel. And this is where you show money coming in. A lot of people don't have this situation, Paul. So this is the normal. That's why it takes the general ledger. But it would be anytime any money's coming in, I say where it's coming from. So like, let's say somebody takes money out of their person, it's operating money that you deposit in, or it's a loan money you put in, or any money that's not from operations has got to be a manual deposit in here, and it has to have a corresponding general ledger entry with it. We're making it to where the general ledger entry screen will pop up and you can take care of it as you enter it. Right now, we got to go and make sure that we've entered that in there. So go ahead and add the amount of the deposit, Rachel.
How much is the deposit?
Okay, I have 3 different deposits.
Okay.
Okay, on 1/1, I have one for $750, and that is field trip rent.
Okay.
Okay, and then I have one on 1/3
Mm-hmm.
that is cut loose rent.
Okay.
That's for $1,300.
Okay.
And then I have one on 1/4,
Mm-hmm.
which is Kevin Rick rent.
Kevin Rick rent.
Yep.
Okay.
And that is $725.
Beautiful. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I have those 3.
Yep. So go ahead and show them, Rachel.
Show them the deposit.
And then sort manual deposits. If you go deposits and then sort no deposits, and then sort, yeah. There, and then go to the deposits and the reference column, and hit that filter, and just type in MAN filter. Okay, there they are, right? So there's one on 1/1 for 711, 713, 14. We could do them all together on 1/4.
Okay.
For the general ledger entry. And so what we're going to do is, open the general ledger, and then we're going to add this on 1/4, and then hit add manually. Okay.
So if I add these manually, they'll do the general ledger for me.
Yep.
Okay. And then I also.
Okay. And then just let's get this. And so you're going to add an account. So Rachel, we're going to start. This is going to be the expense account is going to be the one entry. Okay. And we're going to enter the 3 so that we know what they're for. Okay. And so the account is going to be rent, the expense account that's being credited. Okay. Yep.
Sorry.
And then there you go. And then it's going to be a credit. Yeah. And then let's see, what was the first one? Maybe click on your other
The
tab.
total is 2,775.
No, let's separate. I mean, okay, you can do that. Okay.
Oh, do
and
you
then
want to do
put,
them all
and
separate?
then put in the notes all 3 of those rent payments, right?
Okay.
That works. You could do them all separately or,
Okay.
all right, save. And then you're gonna add, no, not save.
Oh.
It won't let you anyways.
Mhm.
Add. And then you're doing the balance sheet account.
Okay.
Okay. And now you're gonna choose, it's going into the operational account.
Yeah,
Yep. Okay. There. And so the amount is a debit. And that's the balancing entry. And that's the money going in the account. So that's your deposits there. Okay. And then you hit save. There. Okay. So now when we go and look at your P&L, so now go to the profit and loss statement. Go and hit reload. There you go. Good. Now scroll down to his rent. Find it. There you go. See how it says 3725 is his rent expense? If he clicks on that, he's going to see that he has the $6,500 and then he's got the general ledger entry that credits that expense account in there. And that accounts for the $6,500 that came out of the bank account too. And then there's the other deposits that went in there, and that's going to show up in the bank statement and reconciliation.
so I also have multiple, because we are able to do games, which are gambling machines.
Yeah.
So I have deposits for that, so I don't know how you want.
Yeah. I would probably add that to your end of day report as revenue on that. And we would add it to your
usually don't know until like 2 in the afternoon. So what I've been doing is other income and other expenses on my P&L.
Mhm.
And it is in my budget.
Yeah, we could do that because then it won't throw off your labor numbers or any of that. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So do a deposit kind
Yeah,
of.
so we'll just call it one account, just call it other expenses. We're actually adding other income as we speak, but other expenses in there. And if it goes negative, that means that's a positive and it will offset your bottom line.
Okay, I will try it and have somebody look at it.
Yeah, so if you could add other expenses to his line item, Rachel, and then we could do the debits and credits on those deposits. Okay.
Because
Okay.
that one, I take 2 deposits in,
Mm-hmm.
and then I send a check I print a check to my
Yeah.
games vendor.
Yeah. So you have some expenses to go along with that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, they pay the taxes out of that. It's all included.
Okay.
All right. All right.
So under expenses, you're going to put other expense. Rachel.
Yeah.
We could call it gaming. We could call it gaming. Just call it gaming.
Yeah, I do one that's games and parking income, because we also sell our parking lot for Wisconsin State
Okay.
Fair.
Yeah. So just call it gaming and parking. Do a gaming one and then do a parking one. Perfect.
Perfect.
All right, great question. Love it. I think that was awesome. It really shows, it's not easy building this stuff, and you can see that it all affected the correct accounts. You guys still got to know accounting. You got to know debits and credits and get all that in there, but it's all working wonderfully.
I need to leave this meeting. I have another one I have.
I can barely hear you, Cecilia. I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Yes, I'm going to leave the meeting. I have another appointment at 11. So.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Know that you're full accounting, so all these entries we're going to be making for you, but the more that you can scan your invoices and send them in, the faster you'll get a P&L.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay,
Right.
thank you. Have a great day.
If I get a
Thank
question
you.
for you. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're okay, Paul. Go ahead.
Because I just like to put my invoices in daily. Does it matter if I scan them in, or can I just put them in manually? Like I'm doing every day.
So when you do your invoices, so if you have them, if you like to scan them, so either you can take the picture in the app, right? So that they're uploaded that way. If you like to scan them on your computer, Rachel, can you go up to invoice upload?
I don't even do that. I just do a manual. You know what I'm saying?
He processes them himself.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, you can keep doing that. Absolutely.
yeah, because then there's nothing on my day.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. You can keep doing that. Here's one thing that I would do though, Paul. I would still scan them and upload them. And here, let me show you why. Okay. Do you have an invoice on? Are you logged into the app, the scanning app? It's the green one.
Yeah, because I did inventory this morning. I have an invoice too.
Perfect. Have you already entered that one in the system, the one that you have?
I did not.
Okay, could you find one that you've already entered in?
I put them all away.
He threw them away. So.
I can go grab one real quick. It'll take me.
Yeah, grab one that you've already entered in. It's worth it, I promise.
All right.
Do you want to do this?
This is what I was showing you the other day, Rufus, where they're already entering there. He's going to scan it.
Do you want me to stop sharing my screen so you can?
I've been
No,
doing
no,
that.
no, he's going to scan it, and you're going to and it's going to show that it's up here, and we're going to show him what's going on with those scans and why he wants to do it, even if he's processing them himself.
Okay.
The other thing he can do is like use the AI himself as well. It's easier. He's probably pretty good. He's pretty good at it though. Is Picoso's on invoicing, Rachel?
I don't think so.
Or is Renee doing Renee, you're doing all of them?
No, the managers are up. I mean, we are, but me, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or at least they're uploading the prime cost ones. I'm gonna try and start doing on Field House, but
So this would be good for you to watch
beyond.
it too. Yeah, this will be good because if you scan them in the app, even if you're doing them self, the benefit of having the scan picture of every invoice in here is really
All right.
especially.
I have one.
Okay, great. So get your app out, okay, on your phone, the green one, and pick one to upload that you've already entered in the system. So you go to the green app,
Voice upload.
invoice upload, correct? And then when you go to invoice upload, you're going to are you on Android or iPhone?
Android.
So I think Android, there's a big plus sign. I think it might be upper right on the Android and it's bottom right on the iPhone.
Yep.
The big plus sign. So hit that big plus sign.
It says invoice upload.
Yeah. And then don't worry about the date. It'll say the date, invoice date. It actually means upload date. And just go ahead and what you're going to do when you do that, you're going to choose the vendor that invoice belongs to from the drop down.
Yep.
Okay. And then the invoice number that's on that invoice.
Right. I've done this before, but I don't know how I tie it to the one that's already in there.
I'm going to show you.
Perfect. I'm good. So I
Okay.
either put it into PDF or add image.
Yep, and you did that. So Rachel's refreshing the screen now. Okay.
So do you want me to add the image?
Yeah. Add the image of the invoice. Yep.
Do I merge into PDF?
Yeah, you can. And then hit upload when you're done.
There's one. I mean, I was doing this, but
Yep, I'm gonna show you why.
it's so hard. Like I said, I get so antsy.
We're really fast now, Paul. So if you ever get behind and you want them done by us, just at any time to say, and we're getting them all done with hundreds of clients in 24 hours.
All right, and then okay.
All right. So go ahead and refresh, Rachel. If he's hit up, did you hit upload?
Yep, uploaded.
Okay, so there it is. So we click on, there's a Greco invoice, and you can see there's the invoice number. If we click the PDF so that everybody can see it, that's been uploaded. Okay, and that's a Greco invoice. What's the date of that invoice, Rachel? Can you see it?
The date of the invoice looks like 1/2/25.
Okay, all right. So hit close. Now go ahead and hit process because you've already processed that, right, Rachel? Right, Paul?
It's from last month. Yeah, it should be in there.
Okay, so yes. Okay, so now go find that invoice in this invoice log, Rachel. 125, no, in the invoice log.
Oh, sorry, I thought I hit paid up log.
Go to 125 and you should find a Greco invoice.
On when the invoice date was 1/2.
120. Okay. Oh, sorry. I thought you said 125. Sorry. Oh, 1/2/25 you said. Okay.
Yeah.
Should
All
be in
right.
there.
So go ahead and open that up. And well, maybe you did a different
1-3.
date. Well,
Go to
1/3.
1-3.
Okay, go to 1/3. There's that Greco invoice. Okay, go ahead and double click that, Rachel. So what it's done, Paul, is it automatically is finding the invoice log and vendor and automatically uploading that invoice to your invoice log and where you're at with it.
Okay, so if I manually put them in, take a picture of them, they'll automatically do that.
And then process them when you're done. It'll automatically connect them to that invoice in there. So
Okay.
Rachel, show them this too. Go back to your P&L tab. There you go. I don't know if you have to hit refresh. Yeah, probably hit reload. Yep.
Okay.
And then go find, I think it was restaurant supplies. Scroll down to restaurant supplies. It's the first one there under operating. Click on that. Yep. Okay. And then go find the Greco from 1/3. Click on the invoice. And then you're also going to see when you click and you're inspecting your expenses, you could bring up the invoice right there and see it. And then go ahead and right click. So here's a little trick. We got to add the button, but right click on that Greco invoice, Rachel, and then do like print. Yeah. Perfect. And you could like zoom in and see it. Okay. You don't have to print it, but it's a good way to zoom in and see it. So if you do that in the app, Paul, you'll be able to inspect your expenses directly from your P&L as well.
Okay, that sounds
Okay.
good. And then, Rachel, I did email you the two vehicle loans instead of the leases.
Perfect.
Yeah. We have principal and interest. Yep.
And the one has principal and interest, the other one doesn't, but I sent you the contract too.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Probably figure that out. So.
Yes. If I have any questions, I'll call you or text you.
If I know the terms of the loan, I could reverse engineer what the principal and interest are, so we can help you. All right, we do have to get going, but we're going to be here on Thursday, Rachel, right?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Great questions, Paul. Appreciate it.